Hello, and welcome to today's webinar on the refreshed community portal with expanded content and new focus. Before we begin today, we would like to pay our respects to the traditional owners of the land we are meeting on today, the Whadjuk people of the Noongar Nation, and pay our respects to elders past, present, and emerging. My name is Vilma Fitzgerald, and I'm a Senior Research Officer at the Australian Indigenous HealthInfoNet, and I'm joined today by my colleague Ashley Parnell, who is also a Research Officer at the HealthInfoNet. And we both work on the Alcohol and Other Drugs Knowledge Centre project. Thank you for joining us today.
Today we are going to introduce you to our updated community portal. This webinar will be delivered in two parts. First, we will talk about the process and the results of working with Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander stakeholders to update the community portal. Second, we will give you a demonstration of what information is available on the portal and how you can find it. First of all, some background on the community portal. It was created in 2014 to provide much needed information about alcohol and other drugs for elders, natural helpers and community members. Content for the portal was guided by focus groups and a national online survey. Over the last 5 years, data from Google Analytics and participants of workshops and surveys have indicated that the community portal is useful. To ensure that the portal was still meeting the needs of our users and to inform future development of the portal, a recent series of focus groups and an online national survey was conducted. For our community portal, we wanted to find out about Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander community members working in communities, what their priorities were for information about alcohol and other drugs. It was important to bring the views of local people and their lived experience to the centre of the process, find out local priorities and what the challenges were, and understand problems and solutions. An initial invitation was sent to our reference group members and other HealthInfoNet stakeholders to provide recommendations of people to contact before sending a formal invitation. Across 2018 and 2019, we recruited Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander alcohol and other drug workers and community members to determine up-to-date informational needs about alcohol and other drugs. We held focus groups in Perth and in Adelaide with 12 participants and conducted a national online survey with 30 respondents. The responses from the focus groups and survey were then analysed by a member of our research team. The responses show that much of the existing information on the community portal was still relevant. New themes also emerged from this round of focus groups and survey compared with 2014. Most people that attended the focus groups or did the survey were working in the health sector. Common themes from the responses were provide current, factual, evidence-based information, simplify messages and make it easy to read, use visuals, have a focus on young people, use positive role models for stories and promotion, use social media, including Facebook, to connect with Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander communities, provide resources in interactive formats, use Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander art and colours.
Topics that respondents thought were important to cover on the community portal included young people, mental health, drinking and pregnancy, stolen generations and trauma, addiction and specific information about methamphetamine, also known as ice, alcohol, new and emerging drugs, and cannabis. We then designed a detailed mock-up of the community portal, showing how it could look, feel, and work. The reference group, focus group, and survey participants were invited to review the new look, design, and content of the community portal and provide feedback. The feedback that we received on the new design was very positive. The findings from the focus groups and survey have been used to update the community portal to be more current and relevant for our users. We hope that the updated portal reflects the needs of diverse Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander communities and can help enhance knowledge and understanding of alcohol and other drug use and support the information needs of elders and community members working with Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people in communities. That brings us to the demonstration section of the webinar, where we will show you how we updated the community portal to provide Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander communities with information for their knowledge needs in dealing with AOD use.
First, we will take you to the community portal homepage. You can find it on the Alcohol and Other Drug Knowledge Centre website by going to the Learn section in the top gold navigation bar and selecting Community Portal, or by scrolling down to the Our Portal section and selecting Community Portal. The first thing you will notice is the artwork used across the community portal. It is called Families Coming Together and was painted by Aboriginal artist Melanie Robinson. On the homepage, you will also see that we feature a positive story or resources from the community. You can see the information has been organised into specific subtopic areas on the right of the screen, such as strong communities, which focuses on strength-based community-based initiatives to reduce harms from alcohol and other drugs. Mental health and addiction, which includes upfront information about the relationship between mental health and substance use. Healing, which includes information on the stolen generations, trauma, the impact of colonisation, sexual abuse and healing. Legal, which includes information on court diversion programs, resources about justice reinvestment, and information about addressing alcohol and drug use as a risk factor for contact with the justice system. And fact sheets, which are a range of fact sheets on different types of drugs. If you scroll down to the bottom of the page, you will see the Key Resources section. This provides the latest information on resources, organisations, programs, events, funding, and courses relevant to community members. You can see how much content we have by viewing the numbers next to each resource type. To navigate easily through the community portal and all the different health subtopics, you can also use the drop-down menu, which is located at the top left of the page at any time. This navigation point will follow you no matter where you are on the community portal to return to the community portal homepage. We will now take a look at some other areas of the community portal. For this example, we will be looking at the new healing subtopic section. When you click on the healing tab, the first thing that you will see are the key facts. You can also view the programs, resources, and organisations working in the area of healing. We will now have a look at some of the healing programs that are available. So let's click on programs. Here we can use the filters function, which is located on the left to start the search. Here you can select checkboxes according to your search criteria. For example, under location, let's check New South Wales. As you select the checkboxes in the filter section, it will automatically update the View Records box, so you can see that there are 14 records that fit the search criteria we asked for. So let's have a look at one of these results. At the top, there is a program called Belong Healing. If we click on this program, you can view a description of the program and other information on the program as well, such as contact details and any relevant links. You can also share your find using the social media buttons on the left. If you want to go back to the list of programs, simply hit the back button. If you're interested in locating resources other than programs, you can go to the Community Portal drop-down menu at the top left of the screen and select Healing again. You can then scroll down and select Resources. As you can see, the list of resources in the redesigned community portal are now a lot more visual. Once again, we can use the filter function to narrow down our search. In the subtopic sections, you have the choice to filter resources by population group or sex. For this example, let's filter by sex and select male. You can see that there are 4 resources that match our search criteria. So let's have a look at one of these results. At the top, there is a resource called No Straight Lines. To find out more about a resource, you can click on the title, image, or more info. All of these will direct you to a page with a description of the resource, contact details, and any relevant links. If you want to look at the other sections of strong communities, mental health and addiction, and legal, they are all set out in a similar way. Next, let's have a look at the alcohol and other drugs fact sheets. To access a range of fact sheets that provide information about different substances, go to the Community Portal drop-down menu at the top of the page and select Fact Sheets. This will take you to a series of fact sheets developed by the Alcohol and Other Drugs Knowledge Centre of drugs including alcohol, ecstasy, ganja, heroin, and other drugs. To look at the fact sheet that you're interested in, simply click the image or click View Resource. This will take you to the resource page that has information about the fact sheet and the link to open the fact sheet. When you click on the link to the resource, it will open in a new tab. Once you have finished looking at the fact sheet, you can close that tab and you'll return to the Community Portal. If at any point you want to get in touch with the Alcohol and Other Drugs Knowledge Centre, just scroll to the bottom of the page and you will find our contact details and links to our social media accounts. That brings us to the end of today's presentation.
If you have any questions or feedback about the webinar, or if you have a program, publication or resource that you would like to add to the Community Portal, please contact us. Our contact details are on the accompanying slide. And make sure you subscribe to our monthly newsletter for the latest updates and news on AOD. We hope you found this tour of the redesigned Community Portal useful. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, everyone.